What's up, guys? Me again, and today we're gonna be going over another video, or we're going over a new news article. This one's from Newsweek. We're going over another article. It's like NATO allies deploy F-16's as Russia ramps up missile attacks nearby. And this is another foreign interventionism video. I personally don't think that the Ukraine conflict is going to get us anywhere, but let's go over the whole news article. So right from the start, we got Poland armed forces are deploying 4 F-16 fighter jets to the eastern border on Tuesday in response to Russia's increased missile attacks on Ukraine. The move by Polish military follows Russian bombardment of Ukraine's two largest cities, Kyiv and Kyiv overnight Tuesday, which killed at least 5 civilians and injured dozens more. Moscow unleashed its largest aerial attack of the war last week, targeting civilian and military infrastructure and killing at least 37 people. On Tuesday morning, Poland's operational command said in a post to X, formerly Twitter, that 2 pairs of F-16 fighters and an allied air tanker were activated to its eastern border in response to Russia's latest rounds of attacks. Poland's Ministry of Defense told Newsweek on Wednesday that the aircraft included 2 Polish F-16s and 2 American jets. A few hours later, the Polish military said that the aircraft had returned to their bases and that the operations had ended due to the reduced level of threat. Poland's armed forces monitors the situation of the territory of Ukraine on an ongoing basis and remains on consistent readiness to ensure the safety of Polish airspace and post continues. So, personally, my issue with the whole issue isn't even that the fact that Poland is kind of concerned. My whole issue is the fact that NATO is even involved directly with Ukraine, because I mean it's the fact that we're even involved is causing grave concern, because right now we're concerned that we might be attacked, not just the United States but NATO allied countries. This is why I personally don't support the meddling in Ukraine. I feel like we have more potential to reduce casualties by not intervening in Ukraine versus if we intervene in Ukraine, we will have more potential for conflicts and disaster. And say right now, if we never really took a stance against the Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we would have never had a problem with Russia actually talking about how they're going to declare war on NATO. In Poland, a member of NATO alliance and the European Union, has been on high alert since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine in February. Stray missiles fired from either side have occasionally wound up in Polish territory, including a Ukrainian missile that detonated in a southern Polish village in November 2022, which killed 2 people. And this is a thing where it's sometimes I personally think with us actually sending weapons to the Russians and stuff, I think they're also less mindful of us, because you don't think about it. They're probably kind of hitting Poland with a stray missile here and there to kind of say fuck you to Poland, because I think Poland was a country that NATO is trying to lash out on, or I mean Russia is trying to lash out on Poland, because NATO and Poland are allied, and they're looking at it since we're sending missiles to Ukraine to fight Russia, and those missiles are killing Russians, the Russians are mad at us for giving the weapons to the Ukrainians. And so sometimes I feel like if a stray missile flies in, I think it might be a stray missile for a reason, if you know what I'm saying. And you know what I mean? And on Friday, Poland's armed forces reported that an unidentified aerial object crossed into its airspace during Russian bombardment on Ukraine, resulting in Warsaw mobilization of available forces to try to locate the object. Kremlin officials dismissed concerns raised by Polish officials, however, demanding that hard evidence needed to be present. The objective was launched from Russia, according to the Russian state-backed outlet RIA Novoskati. Fears of war spilling into NATO territories have risen in recent months, and Kyiv's Western allies have vowed to continue to support Ukraine's military in light of Russian increased air attacks. President Joe Biden warned against statements last week, and that letting up on aid in Ukraine could potentially allowing the Russian victory increase the risk of that the United States gets pulled indirectly into conflict. Secretary of Estonian Defense Ministry told Newsweek in an exclusive interview last week that the NATO alliances needed Russia ruined to ensure peace in Eastern Europe. And right here when it says fears of war spilling the NATO territories have risen in recent months, and Kyiv's Western allies have vowed to continue to support Ukraine's military in light of Russia's increased air attacks. President Joe Biden warned, right here. Joe Biden warned in a statement last week that letting up on Ukraine and substantially allowing Russian victory increases the risk that the United States gets pulled in directly to the conflict. And I personally disagree with this statement. I think Joe Biden is actually wrong on this statement, because all we got to do is just, kind of like allow a Russian victory. I don't think we would get pulled directly into the conflict. Because, the only way we're going to get pulled into the conflict is if we keep pissing Russia off. I feel like the only thing that would really make it to where we're in a direct conflict with Russia is if we directly keep fucking with Russia. The more we intervene in their politics, the more we intervene in anything they do, the more likely we're going to end up in a conflict with them, in my mind. So I personally look at this like the whole problem is like I think Joe Biden is just misrepresenting the facts here when he says, like allowing a Russian victory increases the risk that the United States gets pulled directly to the conflict. But I highly disagree with that, because why would allowing a Russian victory make us more likely to conflict with them? I feel like if we allied with Russia, or we're trying to work out deals with Russia, or we were being less hostile towards Russia, I feel like we would have less issues with Russia. But that's personally that's my idea. I feel like we're less likely to have a conflict if we don't fight. We're less likely to conflict if we don't conflict. So, I don't know. Kuti Salam, permanently secretary of the Estonian Defense Ministry, told Newsweek in an executive interview last week that the NATO alliance needs Russia ruined to ensure peace in Eastern Europe. Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to ruin Russia. Like right here, NATO alliance needs Russia ruined to ensure peace in Eastern Europe. So sometimes I feel like this is just NATO trying to destroy Russia. Where it's like Joe Biden's lying to us and saying like, look, if we don't fight Russia, then Russia will attack us, right? But no, I feel like it's just Europe and America is just trying to gangbang Europe, or is just trying to gangbang Russia. And then Russia's just sitting here trying to just do their thing. They're trying to get Ukraine back. And Ukraine used to be part of Russia. They just want their territory back, and they're just gonna fight for their territory back. And then you got NATO is trying to basically make Russia seem bad, and then they're just trying to gangbang Russia with all the European nations and shit. You know what I mean? So I personally feel as if if we're not really on the side of good. We're basically just trying to ruin Russia, and then you're wondering why Russia's fighting back against us. You wonder why Russia's invading Ukraine. It's because we're trying to ruin Russia. So sometimes you gotta at least imagine them being human beings and knowing that we're literally trying to ruin their country. We're trying to destroy their economy with sanctions. And the whole time you're wondering why they need to keep invading more land, because they need more farmland. They need to get their traditional their traditional territory back. They used to have Ukraine as their part of their country. Ukraine is technically part of Russia, and it was up until it became an independent sovereign state or whatever. So, you know what I mean? So I personally feel that Russia is technically in the right to invade Ukraine. Even if we disagree with it, I don't believe it's in our best business, in our best interest to intervene. We have nothing to gain, everything to lose from intervention in Ukraine. And I just feel like this is just going to possibly fuel into possible world war. Why be enemies with Russia? They're one of the biggest countries in the world. Try to be allied with them. I know it's kind of a utopian idea. The world's not utopia. The world's bad. It's fucked up. But then since the world's not utopian, it's bad and it's fucked up, we got to be as reasonable as possible. Sometimes we got to look at each other and get over our differences. And sometimes I feel as if us picking the sides of these smaller nations would lead us into great conflicts. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but sometimes I feel like even sitting here in these NATO alliances, all of us working together, and all of us working against Russia will probably end up in thermonuclear detonation or possible actual nuclear war. That's why when I see countries like North Korea saying they'll thoroughly annihilate us, you got China stocking up on AI kill weapons, and then you got Russia ready to blow. It's like World War III is on the brink of the horizon, and I really think that the more we just poke the bear, the more likely we are to get nuked. I feel like trying to keep our heads down would be the best interest, not fucking with people, less foreign interventionism, trying to be more cool. You couldn't even imagine how topsy-turvy our country is perceived as. So sometimes I feel like when we're sending Joe Biden and then Donnie Boy Trumpacholi in there, and then we got oh god, whatever Joe Schmo we're gonna elect after Joe Biden. It's kind of like it makes the whole world uncertain. So like when you got Ukraine, you know, being invaded, I just don't even feel like we can really look to our American leadership to like sit there and actually lead us through these conflicts. Sometimes I feel like it's our best interest to avoid these conflicts because, you know, we're going to keep switching leaders, you know, and we're running our country so topsy-turvy. And that's my personal belief. I don't think we have anything to gain, everything to lose. And I feel like if we did get nuked, and we got nuked because some Joe Biden was talking about how it would make more sense to invade or to attack or to, like, you know, fight Russia than to not fight Russia, I feel like that would really bite you in the ass. So it's something to definitely consider. Like always, guys, I need you guys to donate to my Cash App. I need you guys to, like, check out my website. I need you guys to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And like always, guys, peace out.